What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode on my channel. As always, I'm Jay, and guys, I have a very special guest today. It's my friend Zakk.
What's going on, guys?
Hey guys. So today we're having a very special video, and
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers.
Spoilers, guys.
Tons of spoilers for.
We are going over spoiler-heavy review of God of War.
Wait, what?
Is that why you called me here? God of War?
No. No, not
Dude,
God of War.
It's in my contract.
Boy.
Anyway, guys, it's not God of War, but right now, guys, we're going to be talking spoiler heavy on Avengers Infinity War. So
10 years in the making.
exactly, man. And if you have not seen this film, go and watch the actual film. It's an amazing emotional journey. The film is most likely the most it's the most controversial out of all of them, I would say, but yet the most satisfying.
You leave the theater questioning,
Yes.
but not wanting more.
Yes.
It delivers on everything, the action, the comedy. Everything is there that you expect in a Marvel movie, but in space.
People die, and I hate to say this, but if you have kids, you might not want to bring them to this film.
You have to explain to them the meaning of life and the circle of life. You have to be Mufasa.
They've out-DC'd DC movies, for lack of a better term, on this one.
Yeah.
So take that for what you will. This movie, if it is the Empire Strikes Back of Marvel films, then Thanos is for sure 100% the Darth Vader, exactly, of this film. And the thing is, too, is this is his movie. We're coming for the heroes, but this is Thanos' movie, and for good reason, and a great aesthetic choice.
It's called Avengers Infinity War, but really Thanos is the main character of this movie. He provides the emotion in the movie. He provides the threat in the movie, but he as a whole, as a character, is everything we needed in a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
100%.
Absolutely. I mean, his is a cut above. Josh Brolin turns out one of his best performances.
Unbelievable.
And I honestly, guys, this is the best performance for any Marvel villain and best presentation for any Marvel villain, especially CGI ones in general too.
I was gonna say, I'd go as far as to say it's probably, no disrespect to Andy Serkis, one of the best performances by a CGI character in any movie.
You will know what it's like to lose. To feel so desperately that you're right, yet to fail all the same. Dread it. Run from it. Destiny still arrives.
He looks incredible. Every fiber of his muscles is moving as he's moving, and you see it all in perfect detail.
Yep.
You even see the individualized hairs on his arms.
Yes.
It's incredible.
Yep.
But it's the eyes that really get you, because it's Brolin's eyes. He's really looking into your soul, essentially.
God. Oh.
It's incredible, just the amount of work they did to make Thanos
Come to life. Of course.
It made him real.
Thanos, I mean, Josh Brolin bringing it is equivalent, if not surpassing, in Heath Ledger's Joker's performance, to be quite honest.
Now, everyone who knows me, they know I'm the biggest Joker fan in the world. I could basically recite the whole movie in a terrible impression of Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
I agree with that statement, because as impactful as Heath Ledger was in the Dark Knight series, it wasn't 10 years worth of impact.
But every facet of Thanos' being, his life, it's fleshed out. I mean, we even get flashbacks to him and other characters in the Marvel universe, and you just get this insight again of why he does what he does, why he's so, like,
what makes him tick.
Exactly. It's like he's disturbing, but yet he's got kind of a rationalized way of about how he is so methodical in killing and everything like that, but he has kind of a higher calling or a purpose that would actually be, in some cases, somewhat noble. I mean, it still isn't, but I mean,
every villain feels like they're the hero of their own story.
Yeah.
And that's 100% the case with Thanos.
So the story basically picks up from where we left off in the post-credit scene in Thor Ragnarok. We're in space, but we're opening to a distress call from the Asgardian ship, and then from there we end up seeing Thanos and his, what are they called again? I forget.
The Children of Thanos.
The Children of Thanos. Proxima Midnight, all the different minions that he has, the 4 of them who have their own strengths. And he has laid waste to the entire ship. So he has Thor pretty much on his deathbed. He is taking the Tesseract, basically, which we discover Loki had, which is not a surprise if you saw Thor Ragnarok. Then what happens is he gets into this kind of mini battle with the Hulk, which is right there. It sets the tone because he takes a couple blows. You think Hulk is like taking him by surprise, but then all of a sudden he grabs Hulk's wrists and without any effort beats the shit out of him. He is 10 times faster than the Hulk, and he has a kung fu about him. Yeah, Hulk is just bashing and smashing.
It's the way you introduce that character. You need him to be intimidating. You need him to be a presence, a force. And how do you do that? You put him up against, right away, the number 1 force in Marvel with the Hulk.
Absolutely.
And not only does he beat the Hulk, he does it easily. So that's the perfect way to introduce him and show us how incredible he is.
In about like 3 to 5 minutes flat, he lays out the Hulk, leaves him beaten and bloodied, and he's like basically knocked out and unconscious. Like, how the hell do you do that? We have a Hulk. Apparently that didn't mean shit in this one. Last ditch effort, we see Heimdall right before he's actually killed. He sends Hulk to Earth. We see Loki trying to, again, be mischievous and a trickster, but then he actually gets killed, and this time it's for real. And just to let you guys know, this is kind of late, but the Infinity Stone count is at 2 right now. So, ding, 2. Because he's got the power, and of course he just took this Tesseract, so the Space Stone. So he can beat the shit out of you, destroy you with his sheer power, and he can travel great distances with the Space Stone. So we're picking up after that, and, Thanos has just blown up the Asgardian ship. So now they go off anywhere, and then we're following the Hulk's trail, basically. He gets sent to Earth and crashes through Doctor Strange's Sanctum Sanctorum, where he's doing a Paul Revere. Thanos is coming. And then, boom. Roll credits. 5 seconds. Then we see Pepper Potts and Tony just out for a nice stroll.
Yeah.
Talking about possible matrimony and kids. So basically, Doctor Strange comes out of nowhere and extends a kind of cry or invitation to Tony to join them because Thanos is coming. And of course, Tony's like, who the hell is this damn guy?
But then Bruce comes out from behind, and then
we haven't seen Bruce. He hasn't seen Bruce in like how many years? So
3, 4,
exactly, at least. And so we cut to them in the Sanctum Sanctorum, and basically Tony is explained to about the whole Infinity Stones, Thanos, who he is, and then that's when he turns to Bruce and says, the Avengers, we're not on speaking terms. We've broken up.
Right, and then he catches Bruce up with everything that was going on. Him and Cap had fallen out. Yep. All that stuff, all the stuff we saw in Civil War.
Yep.
So now there's basically 2 groups of Avengers. We have this, what I call the Secret Avengers, which is, all the ones that were imprisoned, that Cap broke out, that were kind of on the run. And then we have the real Avengers.
He explains everything just in time for an invasion to happen in New York. A circular ship's coming down, and 2 of the children of Thanos coming. But all this is because the Time Stone around Doctor Strange's neck. They're coming for the 2 stones that are remaining on Earth, one with him and one with Vision, which we'll play out later.
Yes.
So basically, long story short, they're trying to protect him, but he gets knocked unconscious and taken by one of the children of Thanos and put onto the ship where it zooms out.
But in this moment, we do really see the power of the children of Thanos.
Yeah.
Just the fact that they themselves are a force.
Oh yeah.
To be messed with by not just one Avenger. All of them have to really try to take him out.
All the ones right then and there, yeah.
Wong, Tony, and Doc Strange.
Yeah.
And they couldn't even really do anything. They just had to outlast the fight until the fight ended.
Exactly. Well, we're forgetting one thing while this is going on.
Right.
On a school bus, crossing a bridge.
Driven by Stan Lee.
Wing! Spider sense, which was very lacking in some of the other films. And then, of course, we get the dun-dun-dun-dun, Iron Spider armor.
Finally.
Yeah, it looks a lot better than the comics, because the comics version was just a basic gold and red, but this one has the color, has the design, and it looks like the Iron Spider, the silver one.
Yeah.
Like from way back in the day. And that one, that's kind of cool because it merged that and the new design and the design of the costume in this one. And the spider looks like the Ben Reilly spider.
It does a little bit.
Right?
I mean, we saw the suit at the end of Homecoming.
Yeah, it's not a surprise.
But seeing it in action, it gives it a lot more real.
It looks freaking awesome.
You know, it
and the
it looks
eyes
incredible.
lighting up reminds me of the 70s cartoon that I used to
Oh,
love
yeah.
wearing out on my VHS, where it was
Yep.
like every time his spider sense went off, it was like, wee. Then the film cuts to space again, but in a different sector here.
Different area of space people were familiar with in the Guardians of the Galaxy. Yay!
Of course, in true
are they
Guardians
doing?
fashion, they're listening to some cool classic tunes, and of course,
I think
we
it
got
was Rubber
Star-Lord.
Man. Rubber
Yeah.
Man, right? Just jamming out in the Milano. No, not the Milano anymore, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
the Milano's it's been destroyed.
Yeah, the Milano was destroyed, I think. Yeah, so it's
We
like
don't know the name of this new one.
maybe it's the Milano too.
I would go with the Charmed one.
Not the Power of Three. Anyway, so we're catching up with the Guardians, and they are actually responding to, unbeknownst to them, the distress signal for the Asgardians. As they're going through, Thor, right on the windshield of the of the damn ship, he gets taken in, and I mean, from the get, you know, it's a kind of battle. What did you call it again?
Chris v. Chris.
You mocking me? He's trying to copy me.
But then at that point, they've discussed and they kind of realized that Thanos' next move would be to go to nowhere, because that's where the Reality Stone is. Last we saw in Thor 2's post-credit scene, the rest of the Guardians team, they go there while Thor ends up journeying off to Nidavellir so that he can have his new weapon made and everything. And at that point, that's when we kind of, you know, let them have their break and go off. And then we come back to Earth in Scotland, where forbidden love is blossoming.
I was so happy to see that they actually really did go into the romance of the Scarlet Witch and Vision, because they're a pretty powerful couple in the Marvel universe.
The premier power couple.
They-
If it had worked out between Black Widow and Hulk, I mean, probably a run for their money. But I mean, this is like, and like we were talking about, and we even see Vision. He's evolving, and he's actually able to mimic human appearance and everything. And he's an android.
He
I mean,
lost
he's
the
got
gem.
all those power. Yeah, he's able to hide the gem and mask it so very well. But as they're, you know, kind of leading each other back to the train station, you can tell this man is enamored with Scarlet Witch. He loves her so much, and it's one of those things that it's been alluded to every single step of the way since Avengers: Age of Ultron, and it's working out. It works out so well. And you feel the humanity of him and everything. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, while they're walking, he's asking her, what if I made a promise to you instead of us promising ourselves to our respective teams, Secret Avengers and the real Avengers, the legitimate, you know, on payroll Avengers?
I had some issues with Scarlet Witch.
Yes.
Again, we already talked about. I love. What's her name? Elizabeth Olsen, right? Elizabeth
yeah.
Olsen. I love Elizabeth Olsen.
She's an angel.
But here's the thing: choose an accent, please, because I have no idea what you're going for.
Yeah.
In the start of the movie, you had no accent at all.
Yeah.
And then in the middle of the movie, you kind of had some scenes where you were like going German, and then you just lost it again. That's my one gripe. I'm gonna have a couple of them throughout this whole review, but just don't let that deter you. I loved the movie. The movie was incredible. 10 out of 10s across the board for me.
Of course.
But let's get back into it. All right. So
spoiling your rating, goddammit. Oh.
Okay, we can cut that in post.
No, I'm just messing. Yeah, and then all of a sudden, they're seeing the news bulletin about the attack in New York. Tony's missing, and then, stabbed.
Oh, that's right. It does happen pretty
stabbed.
quick,
That
right?
shit. There was many times I jumped in this movie.
Yeah.
I think the first time was when the Hulk started hitting Thanos, and then the other one was when this happened.
It comes
Holy
out of
crap.
nowhere. It comes out of nowhere. Again, don't bring your kids. Dude gets impaled out of nowhere.
And then we're led into this thing where they are cornered in this train station.
Hopeless. Nothing to do.
Hopeless. Nothing's gonna go right. But we might have skipped over a little part where there was a call made in the first part of the film. Captain Nomad.
Ah, right. Captain Nomad.
Yeah,
of
Captain
course.
Nomad. And for those of you who don't know, Nomad is basically Captain America without a country.
Yes.
You
There's
know?
a short time in the comics where Steve Rogers is a man without a country, and he's this character Nomad. And I love that that's kind of the direction they went with him. They didn't. I mean, they never outright called him Nomad. Everyone in the movie referred to him as Cap or Captain. But his suit was all black. He just had this gruff look to him that he's been through some shit.
Yeah.
And through this fight scene that we see after Captain America reveals himself, it's him, Falcon, and Black Widow.
Black Widow, yep.
And we see that they've really been working together. They have a really good fluid dynamic.
Yeah, past couple of years, they've gotten that triangle formation down.
Oh, yeah. They are kicking names and taking asses.
Pretty much. And, I mean, just the way that they were so fluid and everything, and how they were kind of just, like, dogpiling as far as moves and everything. Like, there was no beat skipping at all. They know each other's moves inside and out. And I'm sure because they've been living together for the past couple of years that, you know, they've had multiple training sessions. They've dismantled many a terrorist cell and many a supervillain cell, probably a Serpent Society and shit like that, I'm sure. So it was a great scene, and they were able to actually save them. And at that point, the two children of Thanos, Proxima Midnight and her lesser, phase out, just get the hell out of there because they know they're outnumbered. Then the Team Cap go off, and they're going home, going back to New York, and where they actually meet up with War Machine in the midst of a conference call with hard-ass Thunderbolt Ross.
William Hurt. I'm glad they brought him back.
Yeah.
He was one of the best bright points of the Incredible Hulk movie, and then they brought him for Civil War to really tie that movie with the universe, which it was, but wasn't at the same time before.
Yeah. Mostly because of Ed Norton.
Yeah. It was great. It was just great to see him.
Yeah.
He did a good job, and then, of course, he was the authority figure that Rhodey then has to say, you know what, we don't need you, and then he kind of shoos him off a little bit.
Exactly.
It wasn't a huge plot point.
No,
it wasn't really even a plot point at
all.
It
was enough to kind of show you that Rhodey's like, he regrets the side that he was on, and he knows that he was wrong, despite having signed up. And the thing is, too, it's a good thing that Thunderbolt didn't ask him, would you do it again? Because he sure as hell would not have. He would have told him, screw you, asshole.
You know, some implications of that, too, is Rhodey's kind of the voice for Tony Stark that Tony sometimes won't say.
Yeah.
So for the fact that Rhodey himself is also like, I kind of regret the Sokovia Accords.
Oh, yeah.
We also know Tony probably does too.
Meanwhile, Banner is already there.
Yep.
And he's with them and everything, and they're caught even more up to speed on the other roster of heroes. There's an Ant-Man and a Spider-Man, which he's like, you know, his mind is blown. But yeah, so at that point they decide that there might be a way to actually save Vision and destroy the stone, because if Thanos gets his hand on the stone, along with all six of them, there's going to be like some crazy stuff happening, okay? I mean,
reality bending things.
They decide they have to go to Wakanda. Wakanda forever. But from there we go back into space and we see Thor on the dying star Nidavellir.
Stop making up words.
I can't help it. It just rolls off the tongue, man.
It is a good word.
I'm actually surprised I have not messed this word up at least once in this video.
I couldn't spell the word if you gave me 100 tries.
No, I just, I spell it like I see it in my head, which is Nidavellir.
Nailed it.
But so at that point, it's basically the refinery where his weapon was made, his Mjolnir hammer, and so basically his subsection is him and Rocket and Groot are helping the only surviving dwarf there, played by Peter Dinklage in a great cameo.
He drinks, he knows things, and he can make sick-ass weapons, apparently.
Pretty much. Thanos killing weapons. And so basically their whole mission right then and there is to reignite the heart of the dying star and to actually have the energy of the star create and craft the new weapon, which will become Stormbreaker. Supposedly, it's that of a god.
I'm so glad they went this route.
Yeah,
it opens up so many doors.
Yeah,
you got Beta Ray Bill that you can do.
And Stormbreaker was also the Ultimate's version of Thor's hammer, right? Wasn't
it?
Yeah.
And then in the Ultimate Universe, when you see Thor, that's the hammer he's mostly using. When you're playing Marvel Ultimate Alliance, that's the hammer he uses. It's Stormbreaker. It's awesome. I'm so glad they brought that back.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that the whole Nidavellir, the whole Nidavellir storyline, that whole part was kind of my favorite part of the movie for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
I was never really Thor heavy when it came to the Avengers or any of the movies.
Yeah.
But for some reason, something drew me to Thor in this one.
Yeah.
Like, he just seemed so...
His thirst for vengeance.
Yes. There was something about him. Like, there was that part when they were still flying to Nidavellir.
Yeah.
And him and Rocket have this really, really beautiful moment where Rocket is going to talk to Thor, kind of puts the thing on autopilot, goes back, talks to Thor, and Thor's just lost everything. He lost his brother. He lost all of the Asgardians. Well, half of the Asgardians. He lost his best friend in Heimdall.
Yeah.
Which he says, and like, so as Rocket's trying to list off these things that Thor has to live for, Thor's like, they're dead, and he's just, the emotion that Chris Hemsworth really gives you in that scene is beautiful, because he's trying to smile through the pain. His eyes, just so much damage in there.
Yeah. The tear comes down as he's forcing the smile. It's so good,
so well done.
He has a bad poker face at that point in time.
and we learn that he has nothing else nothing to lose. Weirdly, it was my favorite portions of the movie had to do with Thor.
Yeah.
But so they get the star reactivated.
Yep.
They get this Thanos killer made,
Mm-hmm.
and it's Stormbreaker.
Yeah. Now we take it back to the other side across the galaxy at Nowhere, and we're seeing Star-Lord. Nowhere. No. And where?
Oh.
For those of you who remember in Guardians of the Galaxy, which I have to say, the titles in Guardians of the Galaxy are my favorite ones. Civil War were like they were raping my eyes, like every time they popped on the screen, ah,
Just gigantic.
Sokovia, ah, or whatever it was. It was like Russia, where else? Budapest, you know.
Well, Ultron did the same thing too, though.
Oh, they did, but it was a little bit more modest. But
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, you know, fonts being what they will. And this one, it was
This
kind
one
of
wasn't bad.
It was
It was
kind
all
of
on the bottom
nice
of the
middle
screen.
ground, and it wasn't too overwhelming. It looked like
Right.
NASA letters, so it was fine.
Yeah, I can see that.
And so we go to Nowhere, and of course, Star-Lord, Gamora, Drax, and Mantis are going to find the Collector. And somehow, like, there's an ominous thing going on from the get-go of this scene. All of Nowhere is not bustling. It's not like it was
Like
in
we
Guardians.
saw it in Guardians, right?
Like, there's all harvesting ships, all that stuff, and then somehow it's just like, oh, it's all asleep. That's like saying New York just all of a sudden went into power outage. It's not possible. So we're seeing Thanos bullying the Collector. He's got his foot on him, and of course he's trying to say, you know, where's the Reality Stone and all this other stuff, and he's having kind of a witty exchange. And of course Benicio del Toro reprises his role, which is nice because I thought he was not going to come back in any capacity, which it's cool that he did, and I enjoyed that he actually decided to. So basically they all go after, well, they go sneak up. Freaking Drax wants to go off and kill him. He's about to announce and stuff, but then Mantis touches him, puts him to sleep. Thud. Smart idea, people. Really freaking smart. It's like you're a bunch of high school kids seeing a serial killer, and then all of a sudden, ring.
I mean,
like,
did you not see
stupid.
Guardians of the Galaxy 1 or 2?
Pretty much.
It's pretty fitting for what they do.
It's consistent, to say the least.
They wing it.
And then, of course, Gamora attacks head on,
Yeah.
stabs Thanos in the neck, and stabs him in the heart with the blade that he gave her when she was little, and actually the first time that they had met, and he had taken her as his daughter. Which, again, that's a little scene that we end up seeing in the meantime as well, which was actually very, very kind of heartbreaking because you see Gamora as a little kid, and all this death is around her, and
But you see Thanos care about something too.
exactly, the seeds are laid to see that he actually cares about something in this galaxy. Moving beyond that, we see this, and then all of a sudden, everything gets washed away because this whole entire time Thanos had the Reality Stone. He was toying with them, and then all of a sudden, he takes her away, and that ends that subsection of the film. And I mean, the stakes. Oh, the stakes, man, the stakes. So we're a little out of line here because we're following through on certain subplots up to the certain points where they have their payoffs and everything. But basically, he took her because she knows where the Soul Stone is, and that's one of the reasons why she made Peter promise to kill her, is because if he doesn't know where it is, then he'll never have all the stones. He'll never be able to accomplish what he wants to. Unfortunately, doesn't happen. Gets her. We go back to Earth. We actually find Cap and his team in Wakanda, so they're setting up for a big battle. They're already getting stuff together because they brought Vision there, but then all of a sudden Children of Thanos popped out and they sensed where it was. Legions upon legions of baddies are coming down, and they start at the iconic scene from the trailer.
Yeah,
you
all saw it.
Evacuate the city, get this man
the shield.
And they give him 2, but it's not the right shield.
Yeah, I will say I wanted the shield. Yeah. I know he's Nomad, he's not Cap.
Yeah,
but I think in the next one
should have given him like a circle shield or something.
Something, or just put the star on the shield. Make it some type of reminiscence, authentic of, or semblance.
Resemblance of what it was before, just to give us get us giddy.
Yeah, fan service, just a little bit of fan service. I know I'm about to say something that's going to go against that in the next part we talk about, but just a little bit. Like, that's the star. That's all I needed.
Yeah. So the precipice of war is coming to almost coming to Wakanda, because everything is popping down, and all that stuff's getting ready, and they're working on Vision. So we cut back, and now Thanos and Gamora are on the planet, which escapes my mind at this point in time.
I'm terrible with names.
Yeah, was a D name, I think.
Deviant. Someone will correct us in the comments, I'm sure.
Probably. But anyway, so they're on that planet now, and they make their way up to this giant mountain with kind of an altar type thing, and they run into this kind of ghost, if you will. And who does the ghost turn out to be? But Red Skull, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah. What?
All right. Hear me out here. Why was the Red Skull? I'm sure all of you guys are happy to see it was Red Skull.
I was. Yeah. But what?
Why?
Because I never thought I'd see the Red Skull again.
I understand that, but to have him there just to have him there, that feels too much like pandering. That's the fan service I was talking about. Like, I don't need that. That really could have been filled by any cosmic being in the whole Marvel universe. If you're gonna bring Red Skull back, and he's not a Captain America villain, he's not there. He's not a villain in the movie.
Well, yeah.
I don't like that.
I mean, he's kind of like, I guess he's like the cautionary tale to Thanos's like Christmas Carol. He's the ghost of Christmas future. This is like him being there as a foreshadowing because he was in pursuit of the stones too. But then the Tesseract cast him out and sent him there, and he's got the curse of knowledge and knowing and all this other stuff, yada yada yada. But basically, he's also there to provide exposition of how to get the Soul Stone too. And oh boy,
I don't.
I hope there's not a lot of Gamora fans in this.
I don't like this part.
It was very unsettling, but again, masterful filmmaking because it's revealed that to get the Soul Stone, you have to give something up that you love. You have to sacrifice something you love for that of the Soul Stone to know the impact and the power that it has. And, you know, as soon as Gamora started laughing, I just said, "Why are you laughing right now?" And Thanos just turns around with tears in his eyes, and you just know what's coming next.
Now, going back to Brolin's performance, that really encompasses everything because there's like a 10-second long, like just close up on just Thanos.
Yeah.
And he's crying, like very subtly, but he's very upset, and you could see it. And it's so beautifully shot, so beautifully scored, so beautifully done. Like everything about that scene, it impacts you. Like you remember that scene. And then when he eventually takes her and she realizes he's like, who was it, Red Skull, right? He tells her he's not crying for himself, he's crying for you because he's about to kill your ass. And then he kicks her, throws her off the
he leads
cliff.
her like a child throwing a tantrum off the cliff, and he's all the time crying, and we just see her lifeless body there. Next thing we know, he wakes up in a pool many kilometers away from the mountain, and he has the Soul Stone in hand. And
kilometers.
Kilometer. They're it's European measurements more so than anything.
I didn't realize we were in Canada.